The mortal realms have been despoiled. Ravaged by the forces of the dark gods, they stand on the brink of utter destruction. Against such foes, courage is the truest defense and the most effective weapon. But it is not always strong enough to prevail, for this is the season of war. This battle is brought to you by our channel members and FLGS partners, Warpfire Minis and X-Planet.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight we're excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. I'm Jordan, here with Ridge tonight, and we're playing a couple different armies than I guess we typically do your first time ever with the Gloomspite Gitz, Ridge.
Gitz.
And our channel members voted for me to play the Soulblight Gravelords, and finally getting some different builds out there. And we've had different people come on with different builds, but for the channel, we've just added 60 zombies.
The day has come.
Yeah, got these guys spaced up. Still more work to do, obviously, but wanted to get them on the table and get a different look.
A little late with the FAQ out now.
Yes, but still got a giant zombie horde, so excited to see how it does on the table.
They're still going to be good, yep.
Yeah. And I did just want to give a quick shout out to our buddy Wee, who helped paint up the zombies, which helped us get them on the table here today. But jumping into the mission, we're playing the Frigid Zephyr, so we got 3 objectives on the diagonal across the table. Kind of corner deployments. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring. And the main twist to this mission is you can't actually see further than 12 inches for targeting opposing units. Doesn't affect us too much because we don't have shooting, but still spell ranges and that kind of thing could have an impact.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it does. That the squall, the storm might go away during the game.
Yeah.
But for now, we're short range. Again, we're not shooting armies, so it's not going to affect us too badly here.
But a couple spells if you stay out there.
Yeah, for sure. But then jumping right into things, Ridge, do you want to take us through your Gitz list?
Yeah, so I'm playing King's Gitz, which just lets me re-roll the dice to bring back stuff. All you ever hear about is people complain about them not rolling the 4 up with the shrine, so I'm like, the re-roll's probably good. And it lets you do kind of good mix of stuff. So I am running, my general is the big boy, the Trog boss. He's got the glowy house it for the 4th ward, and then as well, I took Loonskin as his command trait so he can just bring in the Scuttle Tide, or cast the Scuttle Tide, which is cool. And then I have Scraggy, who's great. And then as well I have Fungoid Cave Shaman. It's a super cheap wizard who has Blizzard, because that's the thing. I have a teleport spell in my list. And then I have a Squig Boss, just because I am running 2 units of Boingrot Bounders. Now, they're awesome. And then I have a unit of 6 Rocket Trogoths, a unit of 3 Rocket Trogoths, and 40 Stabbas.
Nice.
And then that's all round up to 1970. So, yeah.
Awesome. Actually, also at 1970, I'm playing Legion of Blood tonight. So, Soulblight Gravelords, I've got the centerpiece of my army is this big, massive block of 60 zombies right in the center that I'm hopefully going to just
wonder where they're going.
Yeah. Not much of a question. A little cumbersome to run a big block, but I just wanted to try it for the first outing.
Yep.
But otherwise, looking at the heroes, I've got a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. I've got a Vampire Lord on foot, I've got a Necromancer, and then actually off the board I have a White King on foot. And accompanying him off the board, I have 2 units of 10 Skeletons and then a unit of 20 Graveguard. So I'll be bringing them in at some point to help control the board and throw stuff in your way and all that.
Yes, and the Pendulum.
And yes, I have the Pendulum as well, bringing in an Endless spell. And my last unit here is a unit of 5 Blood Knights, because they're still good in the LMS unit, they can run and hit stuff. And always going to have
give you a bit of speed in your army.
Yep. So that's everything for the list. Pretty straightforward. We were both 4 drops in this actually, and I won the drop to roll first. That seems shocking to me. But I do have choice, and I'm tempted to take first actually to just swarm the objectives and make it hard for you to score. But I'm still just not confident about weathering a double. So the safer option here is going to be to give away the turn.
Yep.
We'll jump into Gloomspite Gitz turn 1.
Let's do it.
As the bad moon rises from the northwest, the Gloomspite battle tactic is magical dominance. The Dankhold Trog boss uses heroic leadership, while the Vampire General fails. The Vampire General targets the 6 Rockgut Troggoths with doomed minions. The Madcap Shaman casts Mystic Shield on the unit of 6 Troggoths, and the Squig boss feeds the sprouting moon to 10 Boingrot Bounders. Scragrot casts Hand of Gork, teleporting 3 Rockgut Troggoths, then casts an Arcane Bolt. The Dankhold Trog Boss uses at the double to automatically run 6 inches. As the Troggoths lead the march to war, the Gloomspite Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Alrighty, so back from my Gitz turn 1. Went for the usual tactic nowadays that just keep your wizard outside of 30.
Yep.
Just took cast with the Madcap Shaman, put my 6 shield in the 6-pack, and then just moved everything up onto the points. The only thing I was thank you. The only thing I was kind of worrying about is being within the light of the bad moon. So I started it here, but Scraggy and as well as this are part of the moon. So yeah, I just tried to stay within that and brace for impact. I don't know. We'll see. The 60 zombies probably aren't going to do much damage, but
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, my first experience with them as well. So we're going to find out what they do, but there's obviously a ton of kind of firepower sitting in the middle for you right now to counterattack. So.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all goes.
It will.
Yeah. So just with that, we can jump into Soulblight turn 2.
Let's see.
Turn 1.
Turn 1.
Unimpressed by the disorganized, skittering goblins, the Soulblight battle tactic is intimidate the invaders. The Vampire General uses heroic leadership, while the Trog Boss uses heroic willpower. The Vampire General has Flaming Weapon unbound, and the Necromancer has Hoarfrost unbound, but the Vampire Lord does cast Mystic Shield on the zombies. The Moon Clan Stabbers redeploy, moving 5 inches. Such cowardly little gits. 20 Graveguard, 10 Skeletons, and the White King all arise from the grave sites. The Zombie Dragon's Pestilential Breath deals 3 damage to the Trogs. The Blood Knights use Forward to Victory and charge into combat with the Stabbers. The Zombie Dragon stomps the Trogs, dealing 3 mortal wounds. The Vampire General attacks, but only deals 5 damage to the Trogs. That's a little embarrassing. The Stabbers attack, dealing 2 damage to the Graveguard and 1 to the Blood Knights. The Graveguard retaliate, dealing 21 damage back to the Stabbers. The last Troggoth fights the Vampire General, but isn't able to deal any damage. Last to fight, the Blood Knights deal 8 more damage to the Stabbers, who then use Inspiring Presence. Pressuring their foe on both flanks, the Gravelords complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Soulblight Gravelords turn 1, and I'm rejoicing because I made some 9-inch charges.
Jordan made some charges with Soulblight, so
for whatever reason,
first.
This army in Beast of Chaos, I always have the worst luck with playing them.
Yeah.
But today, I got my charges off. Let me take this objective.
Yep.
Now, I didn't need it, but I'm contesting and taking all 3 objectives
You're
right
closer,
now.
right? Like that's just closing the gap.
That as well.
Yeah.
It puts me in a threat to your backfield now.
Yep.
Which is big. My zombie horde didn't really want to just sit them in the middle and let everything attack them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can still put a lot of stuff into the zombies, but you kind of the frontage is mitigated over here. I can then start to pull casualties, or vice versa. So I'm kind of feel like in a good position board wise.
Yes.
But I haven't removed any of your key pieces yet.
You haven't killed actually a unit, which I was kind of hoping they would.
Yes, there's one Troggoth survived.
On 1 wound.
Yeah.
And I was in between. I was so close to being able to pile him in 3, just tag the zombies. Maybe I should have risked it, knowing that he could come back. Actually, that's probably the play. Because then I could have tagged those zombies had he not died. Yeah. Because I rolled a 2 for battle shot.
It's either way you would have been in a better position. Either he's coming back or...
Two are coming back.
Yeah.
Damn, so that was a little mistake. First time playing Gitz.
Yeah. Again, combat went well there for the most part. The -1 hit slows it down a little bit, but again, overall, I'm pretty happy with the turn. So
yeah, I was able to pull out here, and I know that like pulling out a coherence.
Oh yeah, so you can rally the status
on
next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's again everything went pretty well for the most part. I still have 10 skeletons in the gravesite.
You definitely have more units outside of your territory.
Yeah, no question. Got
all of those.
And that'll lead us to a turn 2 priority.
Yes.
That's a 4, which is 5.
Ah, baby.
Right.
5.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll go into Gloomspite Gitz, turn 2.
Let's go. Yeah, if I do the
Eager to punish their foes' arrogance, the Gloomspite battle tactic is led into the maelstrom. Scragrot uses Beckon the Lunatic Hordes, returning 16 stabbers, and the Vampire General uses heroic leadership. The Squig Boss gives the Yellow Lurkers to the Bounders, and the Trog Boss fails to cast the Scuttletide. Scragrot has Itchy Nuisance unbound, but casts Hand of Gork, teleporting the Madcap Shaman. The Madcap then fails to cast Merciless Blizzard, and also has Mystic Shield unbound. The Bounders deal 5 mortals to the Graveguard as they charge into combat. The Stabbers use Forward to Victory and make their charge. Fearing the Graveguard, the Boingrok Bounders are first to attack and take them down. The Blood Knights deal 5 damage to the Bounders and 5 to the Stabbers. The Troggoths take out the Necromancer and deal 19 damage to the Zombies, who in turn deal 7 mortals as they fall. The Zombies deal no damage in combat, but when the Trog Boss kills 16 more of them, they deal 6 more mortal wounds. The Stabbers deal no damage, then use Inspiring Presence, and 2 Bounders flee to Battleshock. Taking the fight to the decaying undead, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Alrighty, so back from Gitz turn 2. Lots of little interactions happening here, and lots of things to think about when you're playing Gitz. I'm finding out. So, very end of it, I was at 23 models on the point, and you had 17. So I was plus 6.
Yeah.
So I had to choose between doing Inspiring Presence here or Inspiring Presence here with the Bounders. Now, if I would have chosen to do it over here on a 5, I would have lost enough for you to hold the point.
Yeah.
So I went with the safe play. I did Inspiring Presence on the Grots, and then I rolled a 3 here, so I lost a couple here.
That's the smart one.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure I could hold more. So yeah, the Bounders went in and rinsed the Graveyard. They're
only 2 Bounders fled over here, which was alright. No Bounders here fled, so the battle shocks weren't too bad.
Was big. The Dankold Trog Boss just went off. Like 3d6 damage obviously can be 3, but it can also be 16.
Which is what you rolled.
Which is what I rolled.
Yeah.
And even the Trogs, like the +1 to hit from the boss and then giving them an extra attack, awesome. So that was able to actually kill the little hero barely to the wound, and then killed just way more zombies than I thought I was going to, essentially. After a magic phase, which I went for a few spicy plays, like I went for the teleport and do the blizzard.
But you had to use your primal dice on the teleport.
Yes, to get the teleport off, which then, because he's +2, I didn't say before, but my little Madcap Shaman has the sneaky staff or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I unbound the spell of Jordan's last turn, he got +1. So now he's actually +2 to cast.
You rolled a 9.
And I rolled a 9.
You needed a 10 to get the
Blizzard off.
+2.
Which would have killed however many Blood Knights.
0.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We've seen this before. It does nothing against Blood Knights.
Doesn't kill 4 or 5. Yeah, so really good turn. Gitz are fun. This is cool.
Yeah, very solid, very solid. Killed a lot of zombies, but again, took a bunch of damage back
Yeah.
So,
and I just wanted to tag, make sure I'm kind of holding them up.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting now. Obviously, limited resources, but I got stuff I can start using our recursion and whatnot.
And your zombie dragon is not tagged, so he is going to be out for vengeance for sure.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Jumping into Soulblight Gravelords, turn 2.
Let's see it.
Irritated by the upstart goblins, the Soulblight battle tactic is led into the maelstrom. The Vampire General uses their finest hour, and the Trog Boss uses heroic leadership. The Vampire General has Flaming Weapon unbound, but the Vampire Lord casts Merciless Blizzard and deals 6 mortals to the Troggoths. The White King uses Lord of Shambling Bones on the skeletons. The Trogs redeploy, moving 5 inches. Arising from a gravesite, the 10 remaining skeletons join the battle. 10 Graveguard reanimate to fight again, using Endless Legions. The zombie dragon's death shriek deals 1 damage to the Trog boss, but the glowy Howsit is broken and he loses his ward save. The zombie dragon fails its stomp, but the Vampire General then attacks the Trog boss and takes him down. The Boingrot Bounders fight next and take out the skeletons. The Vampire Lord takes down 1 Bounder, but suffers 1 wound from their retaliation. The Blood Knights attack the Stabbers, dealing 8 damage to them. The Trogs deal no damage, and the Zombies deal just 1 wound to the Bounders. The Stabbers use Inspiring Presence, then 3 Troggoths flee to Battleshock. What f***ing cowards. Exacting their harsh retribution, the Gravelords complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Soulblight Gravelords turn 2 was quite the success. I think the MVP, well, Vampire Lord did a ton of work, but the turning point moment was his shooting attack. I only rolled 1 to get for my D6 attacks, but he got 1 through, did 3 damage, made 2 wards, did 1 damage.
1 single damage, and then at the end of every phase he takes damage, you roll a die, and on a 1, that item curse blows.
He loses his ward save artifact, so he went
4 up ward.
4 ward to no ward, and the Vampire Lord then quickly chomped him in combat.
Yes.
This is compounded by you then losing 3 Troggoths to Battle Shock, because you can't Battle Shock near him, so you did it on your Stabbas.
You didn't say, which was another crazy funny thing, is you rolled the Blizzard, and then Jordan rolled 2 1s and 2 2s for the damage.
Yeah, still, you think for 1 spell, 6 mortal wounds is still great, though. It's funny that we were disappointed with that at the time, but still it was...
6 mortal wounds is still great.
At the time, took down a wounded and then a full health Troggoth.
Killed 2, which made the Battle Shock.
That was the Battle Shock.
Yeah. And when that was enough for 3 mortal runs.
Yeah, it was great.
Not a good turn
it.
of dice for old Ridge here.
And then I got the recursion of my Graveguard, brought 10 of them back.
Rolled a 3 up,
10 of 3, so they're on an objective. That's
which was enough.
Bonkers.
You swing that point, because I could have inspired...
because I had to charge the skeletons in for the battle tactic.
Yes.
Maybe I could have dug a little deeper and looked for a different one, but
even that was a 7 and you rolled right on 7.
That was a good one though. Situationally, you can't always get those. So,
yes.
Happy with that. Killed a Bounder. There's 3 left over there tied up still.
Yeah. And that's the other moral of the story, is that I haven't had a unit die.
And that's
so.
So I was originally going to go into the Troggoths, but taking out the ward artifact made the Trog boss the perfect target.
Yeah, once you saw the ward thing go.
And I wanted to stream either the Trog boss to try and do that down, or the Bounders, and just try and whittle those units down to keep them low but not dead. So you're not recurring them yet.
Yeah.
And I never could have dreamed that the Troggoths would have.
I'm gonna roll the 1 on the 1 single
shot.
So
that was glorious.
He was super scared of the Vampire Lord.
Yeah. And we are into a priority roll now.
Yep.
So going into round 3.
Yep.
That's a 5.
Oh, but you know when I battle bot yours, I always roll a little 6.
Cocked.
That's what happens when you battle bot, boys.
Well, Rich, Nothing else. No, can't even talk about it. It is what it is.
Does it even matter here? Still not in a great spot, but I can definitely do a tactic, I think. And I'll take the turn.
Makes sense. And actually, I would have been giving you the turn here, so it wasn't the worst.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I don't think
how
it's
experience I Yeah, we'll see. But jumping into Gloomspite Gitz turn 3.
Let's get attacked.
Mustering their courage to continue fighting, the Gloomspite battle tactic is intimidate the invaders. Scragrot uses heroic leadership, while the White King fails. Scragrot has Nick It unbound, but Fangs of the Bad Moon deals 5 mortals to the Blood Knights. The Madcap Shaman fails to cast the Merciless Blizzard. You'll get it one day, little guy. The zombie dragon stomps, dealing 2 mortals to the Trog. Fighting first, the Trog deals just 1 damage to the vampire general, but at least he's braver than his friends. The Blood Knights attack next and take down 5 stabbers. The Bounders fight and deal 8 damage to the Blood Knights. Last to fight, the vampire general easily finishes off the last Trog. Then the stabbers use Inspiring Presence. Scrambling in a desperate hope to turn things around, the Gloomspite Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 3 points.
Alright, so back from my turn, needed a couple couple things to happen, and got very, very close to all of them happening. But 1 wound off, as it tends to happen. I retreated out here thinking I can just 4-up rally with a heroic action to the Grots and to them. I made a small dum-dum. When I retreated them, I forgot just how not remembering that when you're in combat, you can obviously, I wanted that single Trog to die, but then you can just pile into these guys and kill them, into the Bounders. So that actually happened over here and also over here in the same turn.
Well, here you then piled in and denied me from doing it.
Because I made that mistake, I had to first pile in with the Rock Gut, making it so that your Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon couldn't pile into my 3 Bounders and kill them, which I'm still going to be able to rally them, which is cool. But then over here, I retreated my Grots, thinking I could stay on the point and then rally them. But if I wanted to stay on the point, I had to be within range of you piling in, because you're tagged with the Bounders, to pile into the Grots and kill. You only killed like 5.
Yeah, but it was enough.
But it was enough, just barely, because I almost killed you. Had I would have killed you to the wound, we would have been tied. We would have been tied, but you would have held it as well.
Yeah.
But I wasn't fully thinking when I was doing the piling.
Maybe you could have got 1 more guy off.
Possibly could have, which in this case it didn't matter because I left the guy in 1 wound.
Yeah.
I rolled pretty well actually as well, so I did 8 damage to them with just not even on the charge. So yeah, and also I did Fangs of the Bad Moon, killed 2. I rolled the big blizzard, and obviously we didn't get any primals.
No primal.
Neither of us rolled a primal, so I couldn't just like try to juice the blizzard up because he could have just killed all those Blood Knights.
Yeah.
So right away I was just like, oh, Fangs of the Bad Moon did like 7.
5 mortals.
Yeah.
Well, after Ward saves 5.
Yeah. So it was like a lot of little things that could have happened that would have swung in my way, but just barely not happening.
Yeah.
So it's one of those frustrating turns where it's like, I'm still going to get my tactic and hold 1, so I'll get 3, but like it could have been a 5 here again, and then rallied a bunch of Grots and then on a 4, which would have been spicy, and the Blood Knights would have been dead. But
close,
so close to that, which is like, and then at the end of it, I obviously felt every Gitz player's worst nightmare, which happens all the time.
Pain.
Rolled a 3 into a 3 to bring back 3 Trogs, which I meant for the 1 guy to die so that I could do that. So just another dice roll. I was just like,
didn't go your way.
So a lot of things.
Sets us up in a good spot for Soulblight though.
Yeah, not going my way. So we'll see.
See how it goes. We'll jump into Soulblight Gravelords turn 3.
Sounds good.
With fangs bared and ready to plunge into their foe, the Soulblight battle tactic is the choicest vintage. The Vampire General uses premeditated bloodshed, and Scragrot uses Beckon the Lunatic Hordes to rally 4 Bounders. Let's go, Gobbos. You can still come back. The Vampire Lord casts Merciless Blizzard and deals 19 mortals to the Bounders. Oh, never mind. You guys are fucked. The White King uses Lord of Shambling Bones on the Graveguard. The zombie dragon kills the madcap shaman with his pestilential breath. The zombie dragon stomps, dealing 3 mortals to Scragrot, but he saves them all. The Graveguard attack, but only deals 7 damage to the Bounders. The Bounders retaliate, but deal just 2 damage to the Graveguard. Is everyone just giving up? The Lone Blood Knight deals 2 damage to the Bounders. Fighting for his life, Scragrot deals no damage, and is then promptly swallowed by the zombie dragon. Stamping out any chance for reprisal, the Gravelords complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Soulblight turn 3, and we went a chomping and a stabbing here today. Actually, the name of the game is Blizzard.
You went blizzarding.
Just ask Blizzard, and that's all you need to do.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so makes things a little wild at times.
Yes.
As the Primal Magic does. Let me get Blizzard off, threw 2 Primal Dice onto it.
Yep.
Got me.
4 per rally. I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay. Bring 4 Bounders back up to 7. I'm like, oh, 7 Bounders. Okay.
Yeah. And then
19 mortal.
19 mortal wounds, yeah. So balanced out the averages with my first roll.
Yeah. You rolled the 11 to cast on Blizzard, which is like, if you roll a high number on Blizzard and
And
then
then
you
I
go Primal.
just dump 2 Primal Die to like guarantee it.
Yeah, just wild.
So, yeah, that was fantastic.
That's the word.
Yes. My Graveyard didn't do as much as they should have. You
Ridiculous saves.
Yeah.
Spiked crazy.
really good, but still enough. Then they fled to Battle Shock and whatnot
Yes.
once Scraggy was dead. And
Yeah, I wasn't able to. I wanted like 2 of them. I was hoping to just take that wound out of the Blood Knight, and I couldn't kill the Blood Knight.
yep.
So, yep. And you did the no ward, obviously, with the
the
blood.
Legion of Blood command trait. The Legion of Blood makes him insane.
Oh, wild!
Like the artifact, the command trait, the allegiance abilities,
So
the
good.
monstrous action or the heroic action.
That's when the book came out. Remember, I ran that. The guy that first thought
yeah.
he's nuts. Yeah.
He is scary, and overall the army obviously surprise. No shock to anyone. Soulblight's really good.
Super strong. They just bring back the units.
I actually forgot to roll to recur a unit
Yeah,
here.
you would have brought back Skellies.
Another unit of 5 Skellies.
Yes.
Bringing back. But actually here, because of how this game's gone, chances are I don't get my grand strategy.
Yeah, because I'm not going to kill another unit, I don't think. So
Yeah,
I only
I'm
bring back
understandable.
2.
Yeah. And realistically, this turn I would have, if the game, we were kind of working through it quickly at the end, I could have rallied my zombies back, brought another,
7,
5,
8,
6
something.
back. Yeah,
Whatever,
exactly.
Yeah,
It
doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter here at this point. But we can just kind of talk things out.
Yeah.
And we'll roll priority for round 4.
Yeah, let's see if mine went.
That's a 3, so you get priority.
So yeah, with my turn, I could do Moonlight Raid, which is, now I rolled the 4 up, so finally the moon would go to the middle. I mean, everything is affected by it. Retreat, or just run the Grots onto this point, take this point from you, and then everything's under the moon. So I would actually get my tactic here and hold 1. So I'd get another 3, and then everything would be dead.
Yeah, and even if you brought a unit back, it's just not going to be enough to contest other objectives.
2.
No,
Perfect.
not today.
3, and then 2, 2.
Yeah, maybe turn 5, but doesn't matter.
No.
Here, Rage, you're getting 3 points. I would get 5 again.
Yeah.
And then be able to set up. Again, I'm going to outscore you at least by another 2 in the final round.
For sure. Would actually be closer, like for differential, if this was like teams or like.
Not like it wasn't a huge blowout. You're still scoring decently.
Yeah.
In the past couple turns, but
denying that grand strat, just that and even the turn before, like you went for the rockets originally you were going to, but you had that heroic action that could have just turned off a 4.
Well, I could have gone for him at the time.
That's what I mean. But it's like so that command trait or that heroic action alone against this list is just wild. Like turning off his 4 up board or the 5 up board of the rock guts is like
so.
Or it's the same as into Nurgle or into things with wards. It's just nuts.
Yeah,
he's just crazy.
Yeah, no, it's very, very good.
Yes.
Again, that's kind of Soulblight is kind of one of the. Again, Soulblight is kind of one of the boogeymen right now in meta. Very strong.
Should have find sour on that. General.
Playing the zombies. Big block of 60. First time running zombies at all for myself and on the channel, I think.
Yeah, the first time they've been on. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 60 block a little cumbersome. You really got to deploy them where you want them, which I could have done a little better. but I mean, they did exactly what I needed them to.
The mortals back.
They take a hit from a lot of stuff, chipped your stuff down with mortals,
Yeah.
tied you up, and still, like, you didn't take them down. Now, you would have been one off killing the 40 block, but having bumped it up to 60, it's just so much to chew through.
Didn't
And
take
it
them.
buys me time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the FAQ, like with the now in combat, has to be within 3. Still really
Yeah,
strong.
very fair.
Much
choice.
better that they do that, but still really strong into things that are combat, right?
Yeah.
You're going to come in and take a bunch of mortals for killing zombies.
Yeah.
A lot of people run like 4 units, 20s and 40s, and
Yeah. So again, like, it was very cool. I could totally see the smaller units for the sake of recursion,
yeah,
because that's one thing that could have cost like me my greatest strategy, right?
yeah,
Because I could recur 2 more, like, or I don't have another unit to recur unless
And
they
you're
die
just-
or my other skellies die. Or
and just the classic MSU. You're just putting around MSU units and move
Yeah,
blocking and like
it's
very
you get,
strong.
if you get to leverage all your attacks with everything you charge with,
Yeah,
it's way better than if you just blow one thing up, overkill it, and don't get to leverage your full output.
yeah, and also obviously way stronger going into a bunch of goblins. Like if you got those into the grots, then and you're recurring them as you're killing them.
But
Plus-
you were smart to kind of
And -1 to hit
Right,
actually
it works
really,
the
really
opposite
affects them badly too. So maybe you probably wouldn't kill too many. But there's ways, like obviously, to use different heroes to give them a 5 of ward, or there's ways to give them an
Extra attack.
Mortals, like there's
Yeah.
ways to do that. In
Yeah.
Virkos and different stuff. In this, it's more.
well,
just
also
like
Hoarfrost,
Yeah.
because you give them run 3 or 2 up to hit.
2s to hit, yeah.
So they could choose to hit, then get 2s and 4s going into a bunch of goblins.
Take the winter spells. They're pretty good.
Turn a lot of stuff into, I mean, and I had them both here, right?
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Blizzard remains to be insane, like as everyone right now. My little
that's wild.
70-point hero that was +2 to cast, and I could teleport him. I was like, that is just a wild source to be able to teleport him around +2 to cast him wizard with primals. Like, so the old Madcap Shaman, I think, is a good shout for one of those like
For sure.
cheap dumb heroes that can just destroy things with Blizzard.
Yeah. It gets the extra spell once per game, so you
Yeah.
can do some different tricks. But,
Mystic Shield, pretty much, but yeah.
yeah, gives you options, but again, here, good showing for the Soulblight and the
Yeah.
zombies kind of out in full force with their horde. So
Yep.
it was great to get them on the table. Guys, we hope you enjoyed that match as well. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoy all the content we put out there. If you do, don't forget, you can help support the channel by checking out our premium membership on YouTube. Hit the join button below the video to learn more. We super appreciate it, and we'll see you guys soon in another Battle Report.
Have a good week, everyone.